doing solving multi-step equations. So before we get started, let's talk about some things that are going to help you out. Distributive property. When you distribute something, what operation are you doing? Good, you're multiplying. So the first one I'm going to do negative 3 times negative 2y. I told you that I'm going to throw in a lot of negatives at you because I want you to not be afraid of negative numbers anymore. So the more you do it, the better you get at it. What is negative 3 times negative 2y?
6y.
Very good, 6y. Okay, now we're moving on. That one's done. In green, what's negative 3 times 4? Which is negative 12. Thank you. So 12 is correct, but it was negative 12. And you're about that, so thank you. All right. Let's move on here. Now remember, I told you this yesterday. When you combine like terms, or you multiply, or you're solving, the sign in front of the number goes with it. So that's what Mickey's telling you. The sign before, like the 5x here, it's negative 5x. That's together. Okay, some people...
And from what I remember, they go in alphabetical.
Finally, highlight. Again, there's always highlighters up there. If you want them when you walk in, you're more than happy to grab them. Or even if you want them now, you can grab them as well. Here's why. There are three different types of variables here, or types of terms. What's our first term that we see? What is a term? A saying for something? What do you think over there?
A number that either has a variable or not.
Yeah, so a term is just something that you see. So 3y is a term, 2x is a term, negative 5x is a term. It's like having apples and oranges and bananas. They're all separate things. You can't combine them. Okay? So I have 3y. What is a common term that goes with 3y? Y. So remember, when I highlight it, the sign in front needs to be attached to it. What is 3y plus y? 4y. If I have 3 of something and then I have 1 of something, I now have 4 of something. Questions on that? Okay, then I'm going to look for another one. I have 2x. What other one goes with 2x? There we go, negative 5x. So I have 2x minus 5x. What is that? Good, negative 3x. And then that 2 doesn't have a friend. There's no one to combine it with, so we're just going to bring it down. And we're done. That's it. So don't overcomplicate when you're combining like terms. When you're combining like terms, you're just pairing the ones that go together. It's like if I told you to sort apples and oranges right now, you would find all the apples and put them together, and then you would take all the oranges and put them together in a bin. That's what you're doing, but with letters. Okay, so do number 2 on your own, and we'll give you a ticket if you get it right. It would help if I had my feet up. Keep going with that. You got some time a little more. Got it. Okay, go ahead, Jay. You got one. Good. All right. Okay. So, we had a lot of good answers. I was really, really excited about it. I think I want to still go over it, though, because there were some minor errors. Okay. So, again, you have this A, and here's where most people got it incorrect. Read it left to right. Pretend, like, tell yourself nothing else exists besides what I highlighted. When you read it, 13A minus 6A. That's what you would be typing in your calculator, which is what? 7A. Okay? Then I have numbers. Numbers are like terms too. I can add negative 7 plus 8, which is 1. Thank you. And then the B's all alone, and we're done. Okay, so that's kind of preparing you for multi-step equations, because you're going to have to do this when we start solving multi-step. Questions on combining. Some people, if you don't like highlighters or don't have them, some people will do like underline, underline. Some people will do like a box to make sure that you can identify which ones go with which. Okay? All right, now let's actually start doing some expression work here to get prepped and ready to go for our solving. Question, or how do I do this?
So, would you distribute both numbers to both of those?
Both numbers?
Yeah, like negative 1 to the m and negative 1 to the 4 and then 3 to them and then 3 to
So you would cause yourself a lot of work if you did that, but I get why you did that. It's probably one of the most common errors. That 1 isn't attached. It has to be attached to the parentheses for you to distribute. So this guy really doesn't exist right now. Okay, so let's just bring him down because we're not going to touch him. Does nothing for me right now, the 1.
Oh.
Okay, in order to distribute, it has to be right next to the parenthesis. It can't be all the way out there. But we can distribute because we just practiced it. What is 3 times m?
3m.
And then what is 3 times negative 4? Negative 12. Thank you for raising your hand back there. No, it's okay. I didn't ask you to. I want you guys to all just say it so that you're actively saying it. When we do tickets, we'll raise our hand. Okay, well, I have one more step here because it's not simplified. You always have to ask yourself, can I make it simple? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So would you add the negative 1 and the negative 12?
That's exactly what I would do.
So would you get 3m negative 13?
Yep, 3m, either minus 13 or 3m plus negative 13. Either one works, but I just like to keep the negatives.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do 3m, oop, that's a highlighter, 3m minus 13 when you're done. Questions on that? Can you guys see this all right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, same type of problem here. What am I going to do first? You see all these problems, you see all these numbers, what are we going to do?
Bring down the 7.
I would bring it on the 7 because I'm not really going to do anything with it. That's a good step. Then what?
15.
Good, 15 because 3 times 5 is 15. Good. But as I'm doing this, I'm distributing. 3 times 2x is 6x, is what I heard. But we're not done because I have like terms. I have 2 types of numbers. I have 15 and I have negative 7. So what am I going to do?
Combine them.
Combine them, and what do you get?
8.
8. Oop, that was bad handwriting. 6x plus 8, that says. Now, if you were to write it 8 plus 6x, it's not a big deal. I'm not going to mark you off for that. However, when you take like an SAT, like they're going to write it like that. They're not going to have it switched. But again, if you wrote 8 plus 6x, I would definitely accept that answer. Okay? Alrighty. Getting used to this eraser thingy. Okay, same type of problem here, except for I'm just throwing in some more letters at you. This 3y is not attached at all, so I'm just going to bring it down. Distribute for me. Just do it on your own really quick, and then I'll ask you guys to help me out. So go ahead and distribute that on your own. All right, raise your hand and tell me what you get for the first time you distribute in this set. Go ahead.
3y plus 4.
Good, and then what's the second one?
32.
Plus 32m.
Good, plus 32n. You can give those guys tickets. Now, let's take a look. A lot of you are like, okay, I can still reduce it, I can still simplify it. I can't. Y and n are different. Okay? It's like having, yellow and neon green. They're different colors. Okay? They're different. So I can't do anything, you're done. Okay? Do 4 for me, please. And we'll give you a ticket if you get it right. I'll write this one up first. I can do like that half and you can do that so it's easier. Minus 8. Sometimes I get nervous to do it. Perfect. I come back, take it yet? Good. That's it. Now just bring down the 6 finger here. Good. Good. Good job. Awesome, you guys are doing awesome. Okay, this is why I like walking around and checking on you, because then we can explain it. Okay, that's why we do this extra practice. But I'm going to go over it. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. Here's where I saw a couple errors. -2 times 4. Make sure that you also distribute to there. Is -8 and then -6. Right here, I can combine them. I get -14 and bring down the 6K. A lot of you did this, so I was really, really happy. How'd they do on the right side? Pretty good? All right. Flip when you're ready to go so I know I can move on. I think this is the last page, right? Or is there another page?
Another page.
Is there another page?
There's this and then this.
Okay.
And then it says day 4.
No. We'll skip around. We won't do them all. No need to. Okay. So multi-step equations. So now we just prepared. So what we just did was to prepare for what the actual lesson is for today. Okay. So yesterday we did 1 and 2 steps. Now we're doing multi. Multi means more than 2 steps. Okay. So we're going to do ones that have 3 steps, 4 steps. And it's super, super important that you're able to solve. That's probably one of the biggest things that you should be able to walk out of high school doing is solving. Okay? All right, so we're going to distribute if we need to. That's the first step. If we need to, we just did that. We just practiced distributing. Then we're going to combine like terms if we have any. And then we're going to solve the remaining equation. Whatever's left over. Was that the word? Okay, good. All right. So I'm looking at this. It looks very similar to what we just did, except for now I threw an equal sign at you. So the left side of that equation is pretty much the same thing as what we just did, but the right side I threw at you. But it's okay, we can do it. So again, I'm going to bring everything down that has nothing to do with my parentheses, because I know I'm not changing it. Not changing this, not changing that. I'm doing the parentheses first. All right, here we go. 5 times 1. Good. And then 5 times positive 4m. 20m. Do you have questions on just that one step? Pretty straightforward. Give you a second. Yes. All right, like Jake said, the next step is to combine like terms on the side if you can. Right here, I have m's. I can combine those. They're the same thing. I have 20 of something, and then I take 2 of them away. How many do I have left?
18.
Good, I have 18m. And bring everything else down. So all the black I did not change. The color is what changed. That's kind of how I do my notes, so that you can kind of see it visually what I'm doing. So right here, I combine them. It's like if I had 20 M&Ms and I ate 2 of them, I now only have 18. Okay? All right, now we are back to what we did yesterday. And we're just solving. So Jake, go ahead and tell me what we do next.
So would you subtract the 18?
So that's where the variable is, right? Remember we kind of talked about that earlier? But didn't we talk about that earlier? We locate the variable. There it is. I don't do anything with the variable. I get all the numbers to the other side. So what number am I going to do first? The 5 or the 18? The 5. What do I got to do with the 5? Very good. And it's gone. The 18m comes down. Should be black because I didn't change it, but and then I owe you 13. I borrowed 5 more. I now owe you 18. And now we're at that one step. When you read left to right, it says 18m. I have 18 M&Ms. What do I got to do to get rid of the 18? Good, very good. Divide by 18. Raise your hand, tell me what I'm left with. Just 1? -1. See, you got your classmates to help support you. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. Do you have questions on this multi-step equation? Do you feel like you kind of somewhere in that brain of yours remember doing all of this fun stuff? Okay, it's just to prepare you because Math 3 has a lot of solving, so we want to make sure that you have this really good base going into it. So we added this unit for you guys. Okay. Got a lot of time. But, let's see. They're all pretty much the same-ish. Let's do 3. Let's do 3. Again, you always locate the variable. It's still on the right side, so that means I gotta get everything to the left side. Question or?
Yeah, would you get rid of the 5?
So kind of what we talked about earlier during the homework. Here's my W, right?
Yeah.
That means everything else needs to go to the other side of the equation. So the 5 is going to stay put. We're going to move this, we're going to move that, we're going to move it all.
Would you bring down the 3 then?
We're going to bring it all down. Yep, we're going to bring down the things that we aren't using. So -5, and I'm going to bring down the 3. Again, if you're someone that distributes first and then brings it down, that's fine. It's totally up to you how you solve. But you're going to end up getting the same as me. So I just bring it down because I know I don't have to do anything with it. But, now what do I do first now? What's that called? Distribute. Very good. So I have -2 times 7, which we all know is beautiful. Then I have -2 times a -2w. Good. For what? Very good. You guys think fast. Like I said, your extra math scores were really high compared to my last year. That means that you doing that for that little time has really helped you. And it's definitely showing. It's really nice to see. Okay, now we're at this problem. Let's look. The left side, I can't simplify anything. Let's look at the right side. Do we have anything that's common or like terms? Yes.
-14 and 3.
Very good. Thank you. And what do you get when you add them?
-11.
-11. Very good. Bring down the 4w. I didn't do anything with it. Bring down the equal sign. I didn't do anything with it. And bring down the -5. I didn't do anything with it. Then he answered too. Got him. Now it's a two-step equation like yesterday. You guys were good at the two-step equations. That looks not like a W, and it is a W. If you can't read something, do not be shy. I'm not offended. Okay. What do I do next? Yes. Add the 11. Very good. Okay. Gone. Bring it down. What is -5 plus 11?
6.
Very good. In black is what did not change. I'm going to stop here, let you think for a second, and make sure that you have everything written down. Do you have questions on this? Okay, someone else. What do I do next? Yes.
Divide by 4.
Beautiful. Divide by 4 on both sides. Yes, you're going to get a decimal. I did that for a reason. Please don't be terrified of decimals. They happen. You get decimals in real life, okay? When you're doing money stuff, we have cents, we have decimals. But you need to know how to work with decimals. So can someone in their calculator or someone that's really, really good at math? Yep. 1.5. Very good. Good job.